Alleghany Journal has found Elliott Harding. He's a candidate for Virginia's 25th senatorial district. And Elliott, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for meeting us here.
Why did you decide you wanted to run for the Senate in the 25th district?
Well, you know, the district's a very large district, and the last time the incumbent had a challenger was 8 years ago. He'd be going on his third term, over a decade without a challenge. And honestly, I think the district has changed, the issues have changed, the partisan landscape has changed, and I think it's a time for a challenge to provide a contrast and really present the issues and see which candidate is better as far as addressing the issues and advancing the causes of the people of the 25th.
Is there any one particular issue that you would call the theme of your campaign or a general philosophy?
Sure, yeah. I think the biggest narrative of the campaign is to really bring the power back to the people that have been disenchanted and forgotten. There are portions of the 25th that have gone unrepresented for a very long time. You see Richmond trying to distract people with partisan politics and get people distracted, where both parties are funded by the same large lobby groups, and behind closed doors they're pushing policies that grow the government, grow the influence of large corporate donors and career politicians, rather than growing the freedom and independence of the people themselves.
The Senate is fairly evenly represented, so this particular election could be pivotal in Virginia.
I certainly hope so. As much as it's close to a 50-50 split in the Virginia State Senate, I'll note that there's really no one up there putting their foot down and pounding their fist on behalf of the people themselves. And I'm really running on the idea of liberating people that have gone without a voice, protecting people's rights, property rights, allowing people to have the choice to break up the system and send their kids to the schools that are best for them, things of that nature. I want to return the funds and power to the localities and to the individual, rather than continuing to concentrate it in Richmond.
Is there anything that's going on currently in Virginia politics, any one statewide issue that you believe either needs to be corrected or needs to be refined?
There's a bevy of issues, but ultimately I think it's the partisanship, it's the hyper-partisanship and the stranglehold that the parties have in trying to pit people against each other rather than addressing the things that are affecting the common man. There's a lot of issues that people can agree on, but those aren't the things that show up in bills on the floor. Instead, each session that both parties kind of choose an issue that's hyper-political, that's very hyperbolic, knowing that it's going to, kick up emotions, but in reality it's not going to pass. But there are things back home that the common man, common woman, children, the elderly would like to see done, but they're not seeing it make it to the floor. And that's what I'm trying to do.
And one final thing, give the public a little bit of your background.
Sure.
You're an attorney.
Yes, so I'm born and raised in Central Virginia, up in Charlottesville and Albemarle. I've spent my entire life in the district. Went to Washington and Lee for law school, University of Virginia for undergrad. My mom's side of the family's from here in Alleghany County, the Nicely's in Nicely Town, and then we got family up in Bath County as well. It's a place that's near and dear to my heart. I practice primarily criminal defense and civil rights litigation. I've done some commercial litigation as well. Recently got married this past spring. We bought our first home in the city of Charlottesville, and I'm going to be doing my best to represent all of the 25th district once elected come November 5th.
Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.